Good morning. How you doing, everybody? This is Sean Shapiro and Ask a Traffic Cop. Let's get this started. Nolan is hyped for the live. So hyped. I see the message there. Awesome, Nolan. Welcome to the show. Peter John William, welcome. Ready for a magical morning. At 10:35, we're going to be joined by NewsTalk 1010, specifically Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. We're going to take calls from his radio audience, whether you call, text, you can do it here, there, everywhere. You got options. And I'm looking forward to barbecue. Why? Because barbecue is in my immediate future. I'm meeting up with a friend, a colleague, and we're going to have some barbecue. Very exciting day. Owen says, good morning. How's it going? Bernhard starts off with a dad joke. Listen, dad jokes are important. If you got a dad joke, please throw it into the comments. I will cut it and paste it. And why isn't it cutting and pasting? Come on. Really? That's what I got to deal with today? No cut and paste? Okay, it's not the worst of my issues. This morning was wrought with technical problems. LinkedIn didn't want to take the live stream setup. It was an error. I couldn't flip the toggle. It's a make-believe toggle. It's a button that doesn't exist. I'm just flipping it, and it's flipping the bird. It didn't work. I was not happy. Oh, I think I got that joke no. There we go. I was able to. Can we copy? Come on, man. There's something going on. My machine needs a reboot in the worst way. And I thought about doing it if it wasn't for the fact that, come on, you can do it. What's going on here? First of all, I don't know if we're having, this is just weird. Okay. Things aren't acting right, but you know what? I think it's going to be okay. Either way, it is what it is, and you can't change nothing. You can't do nothing about it. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend. I hope that you've had a great week. And if you've got traffic and police questions, that's what this live stream is all about. It is a live stream that allows you to ask a former police officer traffic and police questions, even questions about becoming a police officer. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here for you. My name is Sean Shapiro. I used to work for the Toronto Police, and now I am in my personal studio, which has a very, very short commute time. But my goal is to make life easier for you, better for you, easier to understand, to comprehend the complications of traffic safety when it comes to law. And there's just stuff that you can't ask anybody else. Why? Because when you call the police, they're police and they got stuff to do. And I was police, and when you called me, I still talked to you. But I was very specifically targeting and making myself available for whatever you needed to know. And now that I've got more time on my hands, I'm still doing it. Okay. Nicholas Rizzi, good morning to you. And Randy McNaught, who was in here early in the show, came in with a good Friday morning. Sean, and good morning, Randy. Good to see you. We got, you see, it's funny. I responded in text, so it was checked off as good to go. Hey, if you're watching on TikTok, please hit the screen as many times as possible. Let everybody on the platform know that it's worthy of watching. It's one of those things. If you want to, if you don't already follow me, please do. But share it far and wide. Honda Miggs, good day to you. Bean, good morning. Rhythm, what's going on? We got Muzz who just came in. I'm not going to try and pronounce that properly because I'm going to make a mess of it. We've got Kativo and M Barnes all in the live. Let's see what's going on. Now, I have not gone outside today. Is outside good today or bad today? It's been warmer. It's been nice. I wore sandals, and then I stepped in some snow. But anyway, it's the perfect weather. It's not hot. It's not cold. At least that was yesterday. Today could be anything, and I look forward to finding out what it's all about. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be meeting with Jerry Agar, and if you want to join in on that and call or text in, you can. Just 416-872-1010 or toll free 1-877-518-5151. And that will allow you to talk to us about this stuff, about questions that are there to be had. Let us know if you've got if you've got questions by calling in after 10:35 or maybe just before 10:35 when we go live, because that's what that will allow you to get in that window. Yeah. I wonder if I have to buy a new Mac. Maybe this is my call to buy new toys. Has anyone seen the new M4 MacBook Air? I'm seeing all sorts of talk about this online, and apparently it's just a powerhouse for not a whole lot of money, which is exciting. I like it. I like it a lot. Uh, but I don't want to have to buy anything. But in the event that this new update has slowed my machine down to the point of nauseum, I may just go out and buy a new machine. Just maybe. What do you got going on the barbecue later? I don't know what they have. There's a couple of barbecue joint options. This is Owen asking me the question. And so it's barbecue takeout, but I usually go for a nice brisket, maybe some smoked wings. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm not barbecuing. We're going to buy barbecue stuff. Mind you, my barbecue is not functioning very well. It is I have two barbecues in the backyard. One is propane, one is natural gas. And the natural gas one, which I love, is not been working. The other one has a giant, I think, a wasp nest built into it from that it needs to be destroyed. I need to take care of that. But I have no barbecue happening right now. I was barbecuing all winter, and I twisted the knob a little too hard, and it snapped off. And now I have one burner that will not. It's not the knob that broke. I actually broke the valve. It seized. Don't do that in future. I've learned to not do that. But what do? It's cold and you're trying to barbecue in minus 30 or whatever it is. Anyway, this is the first coffee of the day. This is my Mandalorian mug. Akela Draconis, I thought would get a kick out of it, and Akela's not in the live right now, but that's okay. You'll see it in reruns later. And did you know you can catch up on a live stream by playing double speed? I didn't know that until he told me. Anyway, sipping of the first coffee of the day. Mm-hmm. Yummy, yummy. So here's a question from Nicholas Rizzi. What are your thoughts on all those TikTok videos of cops talking to sovereign citizens? A sovereign citizen who those people who feel they don't need to follow the government laws. For example, you pull them over and they won't have a driver's license because they're traveling. I think they're very entertaining to watch videos. I think that most sovereign citizens or people who identify after the brainwashing experience that they've gone through, that they don't actually follow the laws or they aren't citizens, they get educated pretty quick. Usually, when they're dragged away in handcuffs and yeah, it's not a good thing. I don't understand how people are so easily manipulated, because that's what has happened. They've been manipulated and sold a story. They don't just saying you're traveling doesn't mean you don't have to follow the rules. And there's so many cars. You see cars with paper plates, fake plates. There's a number of groups who buy into this banana stuff. I do not understand it. I do not know why, but it's a thing, and it's happening all over the place. But it's not going very well for them, because they tend to end up in court, and they waste so much of their time. We spend more time. I say in general, humans spend more time avoiding work, but they work to avoid work. They go through great lengths, like the amount of crap that these people have to read and memorize to be able to sound somewhat, reasonable when they're speaking to people. It's amazing. They have groups that and they get scammed so badly. Like, there was a video that went out recently, and I believe that they're related to the sovereign citizen thing. And this guy apparently took people for tons of money, and then told them all, it's bananas. Bananas. Have you seen anything interesting on the internet? Anything that you need to, videos that you think I should be reviewing? Anything in terms of funny haha stuff? Send me links. You can always get me at trafficcop.ca. That's my link tree. If you go there, there's links to how to reach me. You can always just email me at voiceovercop@gmail.com. That works too. Either way, if you send me stuff, I respond. Now, I've had a couple of interesting conversations over the last few days about just knowing basic concepts of driving. And that is why I've decided to, and I mentioned it, I believe, on Wednesday. The concept is to go through page by page of the driver's handbook and explain it. So I'm creating a video series for that very purpose. And it's new drivers that we want to get it to. New drivers. Just want to double check. Is everything going on the live stream properly? Let me do some quick checks here. Hang on a second. There's something weird going on. Either that or the world is melting somewhere else. Okay. Do me a favor, for those that are in the live stream, especially on TikTok, please throw some likes this way. Just some weird technical stuff. I'm sure it's technical, that's the issue, but please send likes and please share. We want to bring some more people to the room. And of course, whatever platform you're on, please like, follow, and share. I'm trying to get out to hit the Comic-Con this weekend. That would be an awesome event to be at. I haven't done it in a while. I want to take my kids there. And there's an artist in particular who asked me to pop by their booth if I make it down. So that's the goal. But there's so much going on. And I've got a motorcycle I need to sell, which means I need to prepare it for sale. And it needs some work on the clutch. And my partner in the motor squad is actually has ordered the parts, and we got to put it in. But it's a matter of when. Ginger's Nan, good morning to you. Skeeter229 says, where are you going to, when are you going to invite us to your barbecue? To my barbecue? There's an idea. Maybe we'll have a barbecue. Mia DeMario, good morning. Theo John, Sean, let's go for a ride together, man. So this is in terms of riding. I've got a bike, I'm selling it, and the reason being is it has not rolled since my motorcycle collision. And this is a big thing. In terms of riding, it's something I've done since I was a kid. I love it. Motorcycling is a part of who I am, and yet I'm not riding because I had a motorcycle collision on duty. I was hit by a car, and not that I'm scared to be on a bike. My family is terrified of having me back on a bike. That concept of going out and possibly not coming home is so real to them that they have asked me, and I have decided to comply with their wishes, is to give up biking for the time being until my kids are old enough that they don't need me. I mean, yeah, you always need your dad, you always need family, but right now they really need me. And so motorcycling is on the back burner, so much so that I'm going to sell my bike, and if at some point I will buy one again should I ever get back on one. I rode a Harley for the police. We didn't have any Beamers at the time. There was a test product or a test something in the 90s, I think it was, when they tested some Beamers, and then parking enforcement got a bunch of Beamers. Then parking got rid of all their motorcycles, and we had Harley only. Then there was a switch to Beamer. I'm not a fan. I don't fit on them. They feel tiny. I'm told that maybe with the tall seat I wouldn't feel that way, but I sat on them in the motorcycle show because we had one there, and I didn't like it. I'm old school. I like what I like. So what I'm used to is the Harley. That's what I like. For a personal bike, I have a Honda Valkyrie Interstate. I was tired of it, but I was riding with it for a long time. I bought it in '99, and it was the first one in Ontario, apparently, the Valkyrie Interstate. That's the fully fared, Decker version, and it was great. Put a custom saddle on it, but I got bored of it. And you get bored of, I think it was just the riding position and the fact that it wasn't the Harley, and I was riding a Harley at work. I wanted a Harley at home. Amazing motorcycle in terms of speed, but the maneuverability, it's so long. It's like a motorhome. Theo John says, I'm going to get back to filming informative moto TikTok soon. Want to talk bikes and make some content? Sure, man. Reach out. Here, I'll follow you on the Ask a Traffic Cop account, but just effectively bookmarking you, and then reach out. Send me a message. I'd love to connect. Okay. Yeah, something's going on. I've never seen a live stream uh, where on TikTok in particular that it's going. What else is going on here? Stand by, please. Maybe they're having. We've been seeing weird things on the internet, and when I say that, I mean Monday we had a major issue on on X where there was a major outage. It was a what was it? It was a cyber attack. So there's things things are strange. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. All right. We're hanging out. We're doing things. We're still connected. It's all working. But I have a feeling this is going to be a very chill show. And maybe just the number's not working because I'm getting messages from people. However, it says nobody's in the room, which is not accurate. But please do me the favor of sharing this wherever possible. We'd love to have more people in the room so we get some questions. Looking for traffic and police questions to answer. No one's here. I mean, you're here. Apologies if you're here. Skeeter says bike insurance in Ontario is nuts. It is something else, isn't it? Yeah. Bike insurance is definitely expensive. And I kept my bike insured for 4 years, 5 years before finally deciding to cancel it when I was truly giving up on the idea of keeping it. And it is weird. I kept it going for as long as I could. It didn't make sense anymore. And now, if I want to add it, I'll be a new rider again for whatever reason. I think a year. Akela Draconis made it in. We knew you would be here. We had faith. And of course, now I get to show you that I have my Mandalorian coffee mug. It's not really a mug. What is this called? It's not a tumbler. It's just maybe it is a tumbler. Coffee. Okay. Oh. Nicholas Rizzi says he's going to the Joker's Comedy Club in Richmond Hill tonight at 7:30 p.m. Come out because he's got some new cop jokes. Are you performing, Nicholas? I didn't know you did comedy. Tell me. I didn't even know there's a place called Joker's in Richmond Hill. Which of these fun activities is more illegal? Going on an adventure walking along train tracks or going to the sewers and walking along man-made tunnels hunting for treasure or turtles? Boy, oh boy. Well, I'll tell you the one that I've investigated. So the one on the train tracks has unfortunately resulted in some unfortunate results. Yes. Skeeter says he's from Quebec. He pays $500 for his Harley, and that's cheap. $500 a year for insurance in Quebec is a lot cheaper, but it's government insurance, and I think they cap out payouts. So not good or bad. It's just different. And maybe it's BC that does or Alberta that. One of the provinces, like you get hurt and they pay you nothing. That's not okay. I think and Skeeter says the private property train tracks one is more illegal, but the issue with the turtles and is likely endangered species stuff. I wonder that the animal rights business really can go crazy. Not something I'm familiar with. FM Promotions joining. If you need custom made stuff and things, you should talk to FM Promotions. They popped in. Good friend of mine. They make all my my jackets and stuff. Really fantastic stuff. I've been using them since 1999 when we first met. And I send everybody their way because they're so good at what they do. Family-owned business, and they're nice people. Who they might even make you a cappuccino or an espresso or something if you're there. Just saying. They're in Woodbridge if you need something. Talk to them. But they're also on the internet. fmpromotions.ca. Am I giving the right website? Yeah, hello back. Yes, hello. Smurf GT says, is Vanish plates illegal and what are the fines and is it illegal to sell them? Smurf GT, you shouldn't even be thinking about it. Are they illegal to sell? So here's an interesting concept. It's a device that when not attached to a motor vehicle isn't regulated. License plate covers aren't regulated either. The use of them is regulated on a vehicle. If you put them on a car, that's illegal. Now, is it illegal to have it on there? No. Having it, possessing it isn't, but utilizing it. So really what's going to happen is if you flip your plate, you're not displaying a plate. Now you're in violation. But I don't think there's any other charge unless it can be. Yeah, I don't even think we could. I don't think there's anything under the criminal code I would use like conspiracy. No, conspiracy to commit because you're planning on doing it. Like I know somebody who has a front plate flipper. Actually, it's not a flipper. What it does is it retracts. It folds down and goes under. It's a car show function. It's not to hide from the police. It goes down and folds under because when they go to car shows, they want a clean bumper. It's actually a really cool concept. But if you did that on the road to avoid tolls or confuse identity of your vehicle, $110 ticket for not displaying it. Now, if I caught you in the act of doing it, there's other charges like to avoid 407 tolls if you're on the 407, different charges. Now, if you're showing a flip plate and it's a plate other than the plate issued for the vehicle, use plate not for that vehicle, confuse identity of vehicle. Like there's a bunch of charges you could go with, but I've not really thought about anything other than, drive no plate or confuse. Yeah. Anyway, are they illegal to sell? Not particularly, because it's not on a vehicle. It's specifically illegal on the vehicle. Okay. And then I don't know if I read this earlier. Skeeter asked me if I talk politics, and amazingly, just to confirm that there are serious issues on TikTok right now, I've got people talking to me, but it says there's 0 people in the room, so it does not make sense. Smurf GT wants to know what the fines, generally speaking. Okay, let's look up some fines. Let's see what's going on. Going to go into my trusty app. We'll look things up. All right. We'll go into the subcategory of plates. Permits and plates. So driving for a vehicle with no plates is $110. Failing to display 2 plates is $110. Improperly displaying them is $110. These would not duplicate. You would unless you could clearly say that you were committing 2 of them. Hacker says, I'm a 0. No, you're not a 0. And we appreciate you. But for some reason, things are not displaying properly on TikTok. What's our time check? 23. So you know what? I'll put this on screen just because. And it's because of the wonderful things he does. Jerry Agar, NewsTalk 1010, will be joining us at 10:35. And we'll be talking to his radio audience. And hopefully it all goes well because technology not cooperating today, apparently. All right, still looking. Looking. Where else is this? No, there's too much. There's too much. That's cannon fodder in the way. Hang on. Plate. Deface plate? No. Deface validate? No. Ultra plate? No. Remove plate without authority. Oh, interesting. So you take someone else. I've never laid that charge. It's no set fine. 12 sub 1 sub C. Interesting. Confused identity is $110, but it's also an arrestable offense. No number other than this is if you're putting those stickers and the modifications. If you put something to make it look different. No number other than no number other than that upon the number plate furnished by the ministry shall be exposed on any part of a motor vehicle or trailer in such a position or manner as to confuse the identity of the number plate. So that's where you could be putting up an additional plate, maybe a European plate. Never laid it. Obstruct plate preventing identification from toll system. Or obstruct plate preventing accurate photograph. That's sort of putting on those convex or covered covers. Yeah. Is today Pi? It is. It's Pi Day. Happy Pi Day. And Happy Purim. Earlier there was a message about that. And Paul, I'm making notes. Canadian Tire Motor Park is May 16th to 18th. What's going on May 16th to 18th? Looking for an excuse to come visit you, Paul. I mean, that's where you mentioned it, but I'd be looking for an excuse to come visit. Can we launch here and see if TikTok has gotten back to some level of normality? I mean, we know it's not. I say we know it's not because we're not inundated with our regular crew, but it does show now numbers. It says people are here, so I know it's working better. And for the crew on TikTok, please smash that. Don't smash your screen. Don't crack it. Don't damage it. But tap until your fingers go numb. I'm going to tap along with you. What is this? Michaela says, triple dog dare. I suddenly have an image of Sean with his tongue stuck to a frozen light pole. No. And then Nicholas says, I quadruple dog dare you to come to Joker's Comedy Club tonight and bring your nightstick. I want to see how many cop jokes I can do before you crack my skull in for science. Well, that's quite a thought. So I know Nicholas now in person. Nicholas has been watching the show for a while, but now we met in person at the auto show, and he wants to maintain status as the guy who asks the most random questions. And Hacker says, showing 9 on his screen. Good to know. What's the fine for skipping tolls? So was that for covering your plate? Well, the one for obscuring it so it can't be read by tolls, I believe it's just $110. I'm not aware of another one. Again, never enforced anything on the 407 because that's a OPP thing. That's what they do. Hey, if you're watching on X, you can ask questions too. I'm gonna just message the fine folks at the radio station just to make sure that we can get a test because we're having wonky, weird, and wonderful connectivity stuff. Might be platform specific, but I want to be sure. Okay. Standing by. I mean, I type a key and my computer's doing weird stuff. It's a really weird feeling. You type in, it doesn't show up. I'd reboot if it wasn't for the fact that you're all here. Just testing, please. Join the stream a few minutes early. You know, I thought about this when I updated to the latest version of the operating system. I said, boy, I hope this doesn't break anything. And maybe it's an issue on my end where the computer has gone bananas. Either way. All right. Yeah, if you want to join, if you want to call in, 416-872-1010 or toll free 1-877-518-5151. That would be the way to do it. That. Oh, so here, just because a message came in. Do you like watches? Do you like watches of any kind? Like I'm wearing an Apple Watch. I have other watches. Oh, force quit. Application memory. What? Why? Apparently, I got to force quit messages. There's some weird stuff going on my computer. 3 gigabytes of RAM is being utilized. 4 gigabytes of RAM is being used by Ecamm. That is suboptimal. The entire system is okay. I wonder why. Okay, having fun with memory resources. That's why I new computers because I'm out of RAM. What is going on? I updated Ecamm Pro as well. Ecamm, by the way, is a fantastic platform or app that lets me do a lot of stuff, but it's doing some weird stuff. I updated them yesterday. Well, hopefully we're able to maintain our connections and do all the things we need to do. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, no, that's not good. I'm gonna do some testing here. Please join. All right. I don't know how to, without breaking anything, maybe I'll get rid of. No. Okay, we're just going to keep going and hope things continue to work. Ecamm's on fire doing some stuff. I think that's what our problem is. Oh, here's News Talk. Howdy.
Good morning.
You know how they say never change or update anything because it's going to break stuff? I think that's what happened.
Oh, no.
No, I've got an app that's going crazy, eating up available RAM, but we're good. We're connected. Everyone can hear each other. I'm happy. How's things?
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. Well, we're here whenever you're ready, but yeah, we're having fun times on our technical side.
We are coming up in about 2 minutes.
2 minutes. We'll be waiting for you.
Thank you.
You'd think. Okay. We're not force quitting anything. We're going to get through this radio broadcast. We might end the live early today due to technical issues and see if we can't revert to an older version of the stuff and things we used to make magic that were working fine until yesterday. Yes. Goes to show you, no good deed goes unpunished. Upgrade thinking you can make the world a better place. And, oh, well. Yeah, things are so wonky.
Hey, Sean, this is Mark in Master Control.
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to make sure. I was hearing Christina back. Even now I'm hearing myself back. Is there a way to turn down the return feed? I don't want to create a feedback.
You shouldn't have any feedback. Let me see what I can do. Stand by.
And it's also not like super loud. I think it almost sounds like there might be a speaker or something like returning the feedback to us.
Sorry, I'm trying to just figure out the routing issue that we're dealing with.
Yep.
Okay, that should resolve that. Let me know if you're back to mix minus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't hear myself, so that's great. And we'll be up in 30 seconds.
Fantastic. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. So we're going to join Jerry in just a moment. If you want to call in, 416-872-1010, toll free 1-877-518-5151. At least that's working. As happy. Sensor echoes. March break was awesome. Thanks, Spider 3 Aces.
Jerry Agar continues.
Good to have you along. Here's your chance to get an answer to a traffic question you've always been curious about or something you might have encountered recently. And it's our semi-regular visit with Sean Shapiro, the TikTok former traffic cop. As a traffic cop, he and the Toronto Police Service put together an outreach to the community where Sean would answer traffic questions. He retired as a cop, but has continued on TikTok and with us. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry. Long time no talk.
Hey, good to have you. Here's an interesting one that just got sent in the last few minutes when I said you were coming on. We've never had this before. Hey, Jerry and Sean, motorcycles have to wear helmets, or motorcyclists have to wear helmets. Quad riders have to wear helmets. Why do those people who ride on the back of the garbage truck not have to wear a helmet?
You know, it would be a great idea. So helmets are regulated for motorcycles. Specific vehicle classifications require them. And funny, I've talked about this. even hanging onto the side of the vehicle doesn't really seem legal at all. And it might fall into what category or what speed that they're traveling at, because certainly highway or regular driving speeds, that would not be safe or legal. So they might fall into the category of not requiring a seatbelt because they're, maybe a reverse courier at under 40 kilometers an hour. But I think they're in a really gray area that probably isn't legal.
The speed might be part of it. Now that you mention that, it's not like the garbage trucks are zooming across the city.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the only thing. But now you've got me, and I'll go down the rabbit hole and figure it out. When we connect again, we'll have the answer to exactly how they're managing to do it. Because there's other folks who do similar things, picking up pylons as they drive down the highway. But those are usually closed road situations. So I don't have a perfect answer other than we'll look into it and we'll know more later. And I still don't think it's proper legal.
All right, here is Dawn. What's your question, Dawn?
Hi there. The highway left lane is a passing lane. I've always wondered, in the city, when you have two lanes, is the left lane still considered a passing lane? Because you get people doing the speed limit and less in the left lane in the city. And I've always wondered, are they in the wrong or am I in the wrong?
Well, here's the deal. The speed limit on all lanes is exactly the same. And the rule is that slower moving traffic has to stay to the right. So while we call it the passing lane, it's not really a passing only lane. In Europe, you get serious fines if you're not actively passing and occupying that lane. So driving culture is different internationally. But it's being labeled passing lane or the fast lane. And it really isn't that. It's just that slower moving traffic should stay and must stay to the right. Now, most of the time in the city of Toronto, nobody's going anywhere anytime fast. Like, it's just slow everywhere. So it's less relevant. Certainly, city driving, if you are in the right lane, you're probably going to end up in a pothole and crack a rim. So it's your mileage may vary in whatever lane you choose to be in, but courtesy dictates that you should stay to the right.
Thanks very much, Don. Good to have your call. Here is Michael. What's your question, Michael?
Hey, Sean, this is Michael Smith GT in your chat.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I don't know if you're aware if I asked you this or not, but I wrapped my car in 2,000 Christmas lights for the season of giving. And I was wondering if that's illegal. And I got pulled over by Peel Regional Police. And they actually just wanted to take a picture of my car. So I want to see what the fines are around that.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because Jerry and I have talked about this before, and the Christmas spirit is alive and well, and it's fantastic when people do cool, creative things to create cheer. And this is the Christmas lights all over the vehicle. So technically not legal to emit light of all colors. Specifically, you can't emit red to the front. You can't emit blue because those are regulated colors. But if it's not causing an issue, I know that majority of police officers, like the Peel Regional Police that pulled you over, just wanted to take a photo and give you a thumbs up. But it is against the law, and it could have resulted in charges of $110 or more.
Thank you.
All right, Michael. So you kind of take your chances, and excuse me, you'll probably be all right.
Yeah, it's definitely a roll of dice.
Okay, here's William. Go ahead, William.
My son was driving the other day through an intersection where he had the right of way. It had no stop sign for him, but the road going perpendicular to that had a stop sign each side. And the car coming up ran the stop sign, and he had to slam on his brakes to avoid the accident. But the car behind him almost hit him. If he hit him, who would be at fault?
So this is a situation where the other driver who avoided being involved in the collision by breaking the law was indirectly responsible for that collision, or directly but indirectly because they didn't make contact. So if they were able to identify that vehicle, or if you had a dash camera that captured it, you'd be able to clearly in that report put the fault onto the person who caused the initial thing. But when the person drove into the back of your son's vehicle, that would have been them who was responsible for following too close and not being, and ultimately they're the ones who.
Even though the intersection, he had the right of way, and the only reason he hit the brakes was because of this other idiot?
Right. So your son wouldn't have been held responsible because you could explain the story, but the person who drove into your son would have ultimately been responsible for driving into them, because you're still responsible for your vehicle's motion and the impact. So
you're supposed to be ready. If he hits this brake suddenly, you got to be ready for that just in case.
You got to be paying attention. You're the driver.
Yeah. And have an interval. Thanks very much for your call. And have an interval. That's what that's all about.
Leave a safe space. 2 to 3 seconds is what's taught, and it should be adhered to, but nobody does it.
I had an incident once when I was a young driver in Dauphin, Manitoba, and there was a red light, and I pulled up, and I was behind a really large truck, and I stopped, and then the truck decided to back up, and he backed up and hit me. And he actually moved me back about a foot or two, which was a good thing, because then when a cop showed up, the guy tried to say, well, if you hit somebody from behind, then you're automatically guilty, which is true, except the cop could see from the evidence of the broken glass and everything that I had been driven backwards. And he goes, no, I don't think so.
There's a lot of fraud. Happening right now. You have to be really aware of what's going on. And this is why I advocate for dash cameras so much. You need to have that independent record of what actually happened, because otherwise you can be victim to these groups who are trying to make a buck with all sorts of fake things, from treatment and insurance scams.
All right, Tony, what's your question?
Hi, good morning. Thank you. About a week ago, I was traveling northbound on the 410, just north of Steeles, and the traffic literally slowed down. And there were about 7 or 8 cars that they purposely blocked the traffic, and they were doing all these stunts in the middle of the road, like donuts and stuff, and sitting on the hood. And so myself and my family, we pulled over the shoulder because I did not want to, proceed going northbound following these people. And we noticed that Peel Region, or I don't know if it was Peel or OPP, but the police arrived about 20 minutes later. And I was wondering, doesn't the highway have real-time video cameras, people monitoring, and, there could be, intervention right away, as opposed to the whole highway being hijacked?
First of all, it's a disgusting behavior, and this is why we've seen increasing consequences related to stunt driving. And in that one, criminal mischief, there's a ton of things that can be laid in relation to this, and it should be. Now, real-time monitoring, there are cameras on roads. Those road cameras are monitored generally by a small group of people, and they're not recorded necessarily, but they have the ability of issuing requests for police to attend if it's noticed. Hopefully it would be. Hopefully it was in front of a camera. But, these bad guys know, and it's not every inch of the highway that's covered. It's just intervals, and their frame rate is fairly slow. Anyway, the long story short is, when police are activated, they need to activate a large number of them to respond to a mass group thing like this, and it takes time. And the assumption is that there's available police officers to respond. It may be a while until you can get sufficient number of officers. And for officer safety, you can't just send one car to a group of 50 people who are blocking a road.
Here's a text question. Can a hybrid car drive on an HOV lane with only one person in the car?
A hybrid, if it's a plug-in hybrid, yes. If it's a mild hybrid or something that's not capable of being charged, then they don't qualify for green plates. At the end of the day, it's the green plate that gives you the authority. So hydrogen-powered vehicles, fully electric, and plug-in hybrid vehicles are permitted in the HOV lane in there. But here's a funny thing. They are permitted there with one person, the driver only. Otherwise, they fall into the same category as any other vehicle, which is 2 or more. And that's what the Cybertruck is in. The Cybertruck is so heavy, it doesn't qualify for a green plate. And despite the fact that it's entirely electric powered, it cannot use the HOV lane with one person.
Okay. And meanwhile, I have to have 2 people on a motorcycle to use the HOV lane.
I
don't.
In 2007, I think it changed. So now a motorcycle can be solo, because at the time it was ridiculous. Here's this vehicle that's better on gas, and it can't use the HOV lane. So they changed the law. It was either 2007 or 2012, I think.
Okay, good to know. Sean Shapiro is the TikTok former traffic cop. Where are you available now?
I can be found at askatrafficcop.ca, trafficcop.ca, or bettertraffic.ca. Wherever you go, you'll find me.
He's everywhere. All right, Sean Shapiro, thanks very much.
All the best. Take care, Jerry.
Thanks. Pure curious meeting between.
That's too funny. Michael says dash cams are helpful. They are fantastic. They are what you should get. Whether you spend big money or little money, that is the way to go. I would totally endorse. Great content for the internet, but you can go off and have that sense of security, knowing that if something happens, you can actually tell somebody else and have evidence of it. Because so often we find people who are scamming. They're like Jerry's story, where someone backed into him. It happens all the time. It happens too frequently, and people are victimized by it. I don't know if there's a particular brand that is the best, but I've had really good luck with Thinkware, with what's the other one called? Blackview, 2 high quality brands. And those are the ones that have the name and they get to be very expensive. But there's also Viofo, which uses the same sensor technology. They're Sony sensors at a lower price. So if you want the great quality with a lower entry cost, then look at Viofo. They have lots of different brands. In fact, all of them have different level products. But in talking about the highest end of their lines, you know, you're talking with the Blackview and Thinkware somewhere in the $500 to $600 range, and I think you're about half that with Viofo. Just saying. And Smurf GT, cool that you were able to call and get in. Samar wants to know if it's possible to reappeal a ticket for which you received demerit points. When you say reappeal, so did you plead guilty in court? Did you do, what did you do? How'd you do it? Did you have a trial and lose? Tell me more so we can have a better answer for you, because that's a big deal. You know, the points, well, I shouldn't say the points aren't a big deal necessarily. Points come off 2 years after the, okay. Samar says, no, actually my wife paid the ticket online. Can I ask, what was the ticket for and how many points were taken on your license? It was an out-of-province ticket. Okay. So first of all, to reopen it, you'd have to go to that province and ask to reopen it by way of a meeting with a, 16 over in the zone. What province and how many points? 3 points. So if you have a clean license, sorry, I'm reading this live as it's coming through. If you have a clean driver's license, a clean record, and the only thing you're worried about is having the blemish of 3 points, know that the 3 points will disappear in 2 years from the date of the offense, not the date of the conviction, but the date of the offense. It took place in New Brunswick. So 16 over, 3 points. It's the same thing here. 15 over, no points. 16 over is when you get your points added. Your insurance doesn't care about the points. They care about the conviction and the offense. So speeding is speeding is speeding. Doesn't matter if you're 5 over or 50 over. Well, 50 over stunt driving, they care about that a lot more. But, you know, whether it's 3 points, 4 points, 20 or 40, for them, speeding is speeding. It's the same charge. It's just a matter of calculating the fine and calculating the demerit points that the ministry uses to track your driving history. So, you know, if you were to get a whole bunch of points, you'd lose your license. Now I see because Simar says it's affecting his work because they did an annual CVOR and he's about to you're getting fired for 3 demerit points, or are you over 6? Because I've heard of some companies saying no, that you can't have more than 6 demerit points, but that is a company requirement. You know, that's pretty, I mean, that's pretty impressive to some degree that if they're firing you for 3 points, it definitely would, you know, incentivize someone to follow the rules. I'm not giving you a hard time. What? They said safety won't. So 3, you have a clean record. Otherwise 3 points is all that you've got on your record and they want to let you go for 3 points. Wow. Yesterday I got text messages from a Highway 407 that I owe them money. It was a scam text. Oh, that's somebody else. Yes. No, 407 does not send you texts. So Samar, I'm shocked that they're going to fire you for 3 demerit points. Quite the dedication to safety, or they're utilizing it as a means to get rid of you and for other things. I would contact an employment lawyer and make sure that they can actually do that, because that doesn't sound right. But yeah, oddly enough, I have 2 lawyers, two law firms behind, and I don't know which one would handle employment law, if either. But call them both. Call Diamond and Diamond, and call Barrett Legal in terms of the employment side. I think Diamond and Diamond would probably be the firm for you, though. Just based on, I don't think Barrett Legal does employment law. That said, to go and get the points, you have to have an appeal process. You have to go and reopen a case, and you could say that my wife paid it without consulting me, and it's my ticket, and I'm not guilty. That would require, of course, you need to have a defense, 1, and 2, you need to meet with with a justice of the peace in most cases to even see if they would allow you to reopen it. It's not an automatic thing. Now in Toronto, that's how it would work, because I used to work as a court officer, and I used to direct people to that office and say, hey, you go appeal it there. That's the only reason I know about the process. I don't know if in New Brunswick they have the same process or if it's in person versus Zoomable. But look into it. It's worth it. I mean, obviously you want to keep your job, and I appreciate that. But this concept of 3 demerit points in firing, I would very seriously consult an employment lawyer. I gotta get the folks at Diamond and Diamond to join a live stream and chat about that. See if they do it. Well, first I'll see if they do it, and then we'll do that. I'm sorry to hear this. It sucks to hear. I'm all about traffic safety, and I'm all about holding people accountable. But nowhere would I say that someone should lose their job for 16 kilometers over. That is an oopsie-doo that happens. It's not like 50 kilometers over. Yeah, they should, kick your butt on the way out the door. 50 kilometers an hour over the speed limit is stunt driving, and no one should be driving a commercial motor vehicle with a stunt driving charge. In fact, I got a guy for stunt driving who was a dump truck driver years ago on his motorcycle on Lakeshore, and he was crying about the fact that he was going to lose his job. Well, boo-hoo, you chose to do 50 over. I don't feel sympathy, but you, Samar, I do, because 16 over, in especially when you're traveling or in an area that you're not familiar with, things happen. I can't call you a bad guy for 16 over. Too fast, yes. Speeding, making a mistake, absolutely. It's supposed to be a learning experience, not a something that makes you go look for a new job. Samar says, "Thank you for your time. I mean, it's frustrating. I wasn't a commercial." What was this? Thank you for your time. I mean, it's frustrating. I wasn't in a commercial vehicle. It was a work pickup truck. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Now, are you Ontario based otherwise? You said it's out of province, so I'm assuming you're from here and you were driving there. Either way. Claybuster, welcome to the live stream. And yes, Samar is from Ontario. So I don't know what's going on with the internet. I keep making excuses, and I traveling for work. Right on. Okay. Some weird and wonderful stuff, both technical issues with eCam eating up available RAM and like gigabytes of RAM, lots of RAM, and then also having some TikTok issues that I can't explain. But either way, things are weird and wonderful on the web. What are you doing this weekend? Are you planning to party? Are you planning to keep it quiet? I happen to want to go to the, what's it called? Fan Expo? I want to go to Fan Expo. I don't think I'm going to Fan Expo. And that's just because that's downtown and there's so much, trying to cram so much going in and, into a weekend. And this is a little unique. It's part of March break, and I've had the kids with me the entire time, which is fantastic. Love every second of it. But now we have to prepare for school. So it's an unfortunate situation to only have 2 days. I think. What do you think about 4-day weekends? Can we get a plan to change this? 4-day weekends. What is it? One day work week. We need something good. But if you are going to be out partying and having a good time, do it safely. Drive sober. Drive with the least amount of stress you can drive. And it's funny. I talk about this. I want to order some stickers. That's that goes with the saying that I always talk about. The Toronto Police and police services always say, you have to. What is it? It's early is on time is late is unacceptable. I got to make a sticker for that because I think the biggest secret is if you give yourself the appropriate amount of time, you're never rushed, you're never stressed, you're never late. No one's looking bad, no one's worried about you. You get into this rhythm, and it's sort of like that character from Finding Nemo, Crush, the surfer dude. I went on a Disney cruise once, and of course, you're sitting at the table in the artist's palette, I think is what it's called, the one of the restaurants on the ship, and Crush swims up to the screen next to you. And there's an actor in there, the voice actor, and he's doing the whole Crush dude thing. One of the best characters of any movie. I love him. It's great. But if you could have that surfer chill vibe when you're driving, but still be awake enough to safely operate your vehicle, that would be an ideal place to be. Oh, interesting. SP says probably fewer collisions on the road because of fewer or less traffic for the March break. I don't know if that's true. I think generally speaking, we see an increase because the change of habits, more people walking and playing and taking time to do things other than be at school. Mind you, not all schools were off. Some schools were on. And it's very, I'm very curious. I'm going to talk to my friends at Toronto Police and see if their stats reflect that. I mean, we'll talk about that on Monday when hopefully we have fewer technical problems. My wife says she wants to go on a Disney cruise again. I totally want to go. So I'm a big time travel guy. In fact, I became a travel agent. I'm a travel consultant for a cruise ship center, for Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. It's sort of a side gig. And I do it because I travel so much that I really enjoy booking a lot of stuff for my friends and family. Not that I'm out there plugging, because I for everybody. Mind you, if you want me to book stuff, by all means. But cruising is what I love to do, and I like it because you go to sleep and you wake up in a different place every day. Actually, something else that I don't want to go to the beach. That's my thing. Are you a beach person? I don't want to go to the beach. I'm weird. I want to go to the pool. I want to be in the hot place. I want to go walk around. I want to look at watch stores. Earlier on, I think I saw a squirrel. We had some technical issues and I got distracted, but I was asking about watches. Watch DNA. If you Google Watch DNA, go check out the site. It's a place where you can learn all about different brands. And Thomas, a friend of mine, it's his site. And I've been deep diving into there. In fact, I'm going to be writing some content for his site because I love timepieces. Now, yeah, I wear a computer on one wrist and I wear usually a mechanical watch on my other wrist. But I want to talk about the weird and wonderful story of watches. Who has a Casio G-Shock? What an epic watch. There's a YouTuber who talks about God tier watches, and he puts the Casio G-Shock on there. There's so many cool watches. It doesn't have to be a Rolex to be a cool watch, but they all tell stories and time. What do we got here? Nameless user says, "Hi, Sean. I was stopped a few years ago for speeding, and I asked for a roadside deal so I don't have to deal with the court. I was told that he could land me an obstruction charge. Can that really happen?" So when you say a roadside deal, and you mean like bribing a police officer, yeah, that's not allowed. Not only, let's see, although it's never happened to me, I've never had to even have the warning of "don't try and bribe me" conversation, but yeah, you could obstruct justice is a potential. But bribing an officer, what would the charge be? Is bribing an officer? It's not a ticketable offense. Isn't it a criminal offense? I ask you like you're going to tell me, but I'm going to have to have a quick look at something. What would be the appropriate charge? Let's see here. Okay. How many parents control their kids' computers by way of screen time? If you're an Apple user, I do. And one of my kiddos just said, "I need more time for Roblox." I got a request. Section 120 of the Criminal Code: offer, give, or agree to give any form of benefit, money, goods, service, favors to a police officer or other public official to influence their actions. Up to 14 years in prison? No kidding. You could also get the obstructing a peace officer comes with the potential of up to 2 years in prison. Oh, corruption of officials or attempting to pervert justice. Yeah, interesting. I think that's for bigger stuff. I don't think like if someone offer, I don't think I'd end someone's life by way of 14 years in prison for trying to slip you a 20. But I'd laugh at them and tell them to go away. But yeah. Oh. So it wasn't a bribe. Okay, hang on. You were just saying, could you give me a break? Like you asked for a reduced charge. That changes things a little. Everyone asks for a break. It's not against the law to say, "Officer, couldn't you give me a break?" That's not against the law. That's not obstruct justice. That's not. That's like, that's just conversation. Like, I know I did the wrong thing. Could you knock it down for me? I don't think that qualifies for a charge of any kind. I thought you were talking about something a lot more serious. It was a fun little routine to go through and look that up because I haven't looked it up in many, many moons. But no, I would not even consider charging someone for anything for that conversation, because I think it's reasonable to say, Like my kids try and ask me for a break when they've done something wrong and they don't want to be, grounded or something. Oh, couldn't we just do it one day instead of 2 days, Dad? Why you got to ground me for 2? You know what I'm saying? Like this is a natural conversation. And if you weren't trying to incentivize them to do it other than take responsibility, I don't think that's anything illegal. And I think that if you were charged for obstruct for that, I think they'd be laughed out of court. That's just me thinking that that's how it would go. My wife and I are opposites. I love not going to the beach, and she loves the beach. It's funny how that works. Honda Migs, would you ever get involved with the car community, go to legal, respectful meets to educate people? Absolutely, Honda Migs. That's something that I would absolutely do and have done in the past. I'm involved. I'm a car motorcycle guy at heart, and I've gone to many events. I've gone as a police officer, and I've gone as a just regular Joe. So I would go to regular events as long as they were sanctioned legal events. Absolutely. All right, it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where my lunch is? I do. It's at a barbecue place nearby, and I've got to get ready to go there. So I'm going to say goodbye and cut it off right at 11 o'clock. What is this? Oh, and actually, thank you. My wife just reminds that I did a live stream with the fine folks at Right Track Racing, who very specifically go to events and bring their drag racing car, and they say, if you're gonna go fast or you want to go fast, take it to the track. And that's my friend Blaze from Right Track Racing. They do that, but I would go to those things too. And this weekend is actually their fishing derby in Elliott Lake. If you go to elliottlakeicefishing.ca, you can sign up if you are into doing the 5 to 7 hour drive to Elliott Lake to participate. There's a potential of winning like some big money. He put up a post and I retweeted it. Something to the tune of like $7,000 to $10,000 is the main pot at the moment. And if they get a big rush of people registering, they've had it as high as 30,000. That's pretty wild. So if you want to go fishing, if you're an angler, elliottlakeifishing.ca. If you're if you're driving, just drive safe. My greatest wish is that everyone goes to wherever they got to go and gets home again safe every single day. The goal is safer streets, and by being not safe streets, obviously I want people to have less crime and less risk, but I want people who drive not to hurt anybody, including themselves, and people who ride to ride safely so they don't get hurt and cause, like we talk about. Many people talk about the fact that they try and say cars are responsible for everything. Cars, trucks, drivers, they're the big baddies because they got the big truck with the big responsibility or the big vehicle that carries more weight. And cyclists try and point a finger saying they're responsible for my safety. Well, everyone has a part to play in traffic safety. Whether you walk, ride, or drive, you have a role to play in traffic safety. If you don't look, both ways before you cross the street as a pedestrian, you're putting yourself at risk. And yeah, you might get the brunt of the injuries, but does that make you the victim? If you walk out in front of somebody's car and their life is forever changed because you didn't look left and right, you just stepped off into their path and they had no way to avoid you. If they break every bone in your body, and you manage to live, who's the victim? Well, you may have been hurt, but they didn't cause it. You did, and that means they are the victim. People have a real hard time getting their mind around that. All right. With that, drive safe, drive sober, park legally. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday when hopefully the internet is more cooperative and things work properly. Have a good one. Take care.